Hey everybody. I want to take some time today to talk about the Udacity React Nanodegree. So I was in the first cohort, um, so my experience might be a little bit different than someone who's taking the Nano degree right now. They've probably fixed some bugs and maybe updated a few things, but I had a great time doing it, and I want to kind of walk you through what the degree is like, and maybe give you some tips if you're interested in doing it. So, project one is just a very basic React app, but you learn why Redux is so important. So in project one, you don't use Redux. You do everything with just local, like state within the component, just using set state a lot. And it's not really that difficult if you're familiar with React, but it sets up everything nicely for project two, which is a Redux project. I think it's nice that you really feel the need for Redux by the time you get to project two. Project two is by far the hardest project, and it took me many tries to get it right. But it did give me a lot of confidence with Redux. I was able to use it in other projects after that. So even though it was difficult, I learned a lot. Project 3 was the most fun. It's a React Native project. I also ended up using Redux with that project, but you don't have to. It was just really cool to be able to build an app and see it update right there on my phone. And it was a flashcard app. So I may actually keep working on that app and use it myself, or have my kids use it for school. But I learned a lot of new things with that. And so those are the projects. If you want to know more about the projects, just check out Udacity's course description, and it'll get into more depth. But by far my favorite part of the Nano degree was the code reviews, right? So I normally am all about the free courses. I never pay for courses, but this one I paid for, and I wasn't sure about it until I started to get my code reviews back. So when you go to do your projects, as soon as you feel like the project is far enough along that you could turn it in and get some useful feedback, you turn it in. And I recommend turning it in early and often, because someone will review your code line by line and give you feedback, really detailed feedback, telling you specific things that need to change, and then also some things that maybe you might want to change because it could make your app better. And that really pushed me to be better and to figure out the latest or best way to do things. If I had just tried to do these projects on my own without that, they would not have been nearly as good. I would not have pushed myself on my own. There were a lot of times where I turned in a project thinking that I had it right, 100%. And then it would come back and there'd be some case where, the project reviewer got it to break or not work correctly if they did a certain thing. And I never expected it. So that was valuable. To me, that alone was worth the price. Now, about the price. After I signed up, maybe a month or two after, there was a sale, and I could have gotten 50% off. So if you don't need to take the course right now, I would just watch out for a sale and maybe get it on sale. I paid $500 for it, and I could have paid $250. So a big difference. I could have saved a lot of money. It was okay. I happened to have just finished a freelance project, so I had some money left over. I thought it was a good investment to invest back into my to my learning. But definitely save yourself some money and watch out for it. But if you want to take it right now, you don't want to wait. I still think it's a good value. I mean, considering how much time it probably took all those reviewers to do what they did, it's definitely worth $500. Another piece of advice that I would give you is really try not to get behind on projects. They give you a sample timeline. So it'll say, maybe you might want to get the first project done by this date, second one by this date, and third one by this date. You don't have to. You can wait and do all the projects at the very end. But if you get done early, that gives you more time to send in your project for review, right? Because there might be something on it that's not working properly and you don't realize it, and if you wait too long, you're going to get behind. So get the projects done early, send it in for review as many times as you need to. Definitely try to allow yourself a lot of time for that second project, especially if you haven't used Redux before. If you know about Redux, then you'll probably be all right. But for me, that was the hardest part. And then, finally, as I mentioned many times, remember to submit your projects early and often. If you wait, there will probably be a lot of other people trying to submit at the same time, and it's going to take longer for you to get that feedback. It's going to slow you down in the course. So if you can get it in early, sometimes I would get my review back in a few hours. It was really fast. But for people who waited, right until the project was due or right till the end of the course, sometimes it could take a lot longer, to get their feedback. And then it slows you down, right? If you're working on it and you have to wait 2 days or something just to figure out whether or not your project passed. So those are my thoughts on the Nanodegree. And just to sum up, it was a great program. I learned a lot. I used a lot of what I learned on my projects as I was taking the Nanodegree and afterwards. And I'm still using what I learned. So if you're thinking about getting into React, if you're new, you can learn a lot. Even if you've been using React for a while, but maybe haven't used React Native or haven't used Redux, I still think you can get a lot out of this course. So it officially gets my recommendation. Hopefully this helps some of you who may have been thinking about taking the course. Let me know if you have any questions, any specifics. I'd be happy to share anything with you. I still have the code for my projects up on my GitHub profile, so you can check that out as well if you want. But hopefully this helped, and thanks for watching.